Welcome back to the topic of the week. And the topic of the week this week is again cocaine addiction. I've noticed that there have been quite a lot of views on those two particular topics, and I feel like this is something that I know a lot about, so I'd like to share a little bit more about this topic and the conflicting the devastating effect that it has on one's person, on one's soul, on one's physical body, and on everybody around us that loves us, right? So, as I've said, if you are one of those people that says, I have an addictive personality. No, you do not have an addictive personality. You have a personality. You have a wonderful personality, but you weren't born addicted. Nobody is. If anything, it is imprints that were passed on from our parents, and even in the womb, you are aware of what's going on around you. You are connected to your mother. So if your mother in those 9 months or however long the pregnancy was, sometimes it is a little less, if she was stressed, if she was anxious, if she was in an abusive relationship, if she was fearful, whatever emotions, you're going to absorb all of that. And it's logical, right? And so when I give hypnotherapy sessions and some people go back to the womb, it's not as if they are actually in the womb in their imagination and they see it clearly. They just see darkness, and they're like, I can feel my mother, I can feel her heartbeat, I know that I'm remembering a memory of being in the womb. Why is this so unfathomable? Why is there something that is so woo-woo? It's not. It's why shouldn't we be able to remember that? And we can with hypnosis, so it's wonderful. So we can find out what are some of the imprints that we've absorbed from our surroundings that you weren't born with. You weren't born with an incompleteness in your heart. You weren't born with an emptiness that you needed to fill yourself up with coke. That isn't true. So stop saying that you have an addictive personality. You don't have an addictive personality. You have become addictive. Your personality has become addictive, but it never was. That isn't yours. So stop owning it. Again, I have a squeaky chair. I need to get oiling because in every video I'm like, oh, my chair is squeaking. So what I want to go back to is some of the pain that we go through when we use. And I actually wanted to give you a little task, which I do a lot, and I get a lot of pleasure from it because I feel like a teacher. My teachers would be so proud. So I'd like you to think, if you feel that you are capable of doing so and that this won't trigger anything even more painful, we relate cocaine to pleasure. Because that one time that it did, that got ingrained. And it's actually ingrained within your brain. So when you create a belief, a habit, a thought, an action, you're creating a neural pathway that is ingrained within your brain. And it gets thicker and thicker and more ingrained the more you do a certain action. So if you are waking up and you're doing a line of coke, if you get your paycheck and your first thing is to go to the dealer and do that action, unwrap the bag, all of these things are neural pathways all ingrained within your brain. And when you stop using, you're not just stopping using, you're leaving behind someone who you thought was your friend, which is the substance, because we have a very bizarre relationship with a substance. It doesn't matter if you're not addicted to cocaine. It could be any ketamine, heroin, whatever other drugs there are right now, because I don't even know them anymore because they have very bizarre names. I actually find it quite funny. It's crank and crack and crock and so we have this love affair with this substance, and when we stop using that, we don't just go into physical withdrawal, we're going into withdrawal of these neural pathways. When I get my money, I go and buy cocaine. That is going into withdrawal, and we need to redirect your thoughts. We need to ingrain new neural pathways with positive actions, positive thoughts. So, step 1, what does your wallet look like? Do you know your wallet? What's inside it? You need to start moving things around. Buy yourself a new wallet. Take everything out. Cleanse it, spray it, detox it. We need to get rid of any negative energy that has come from your wallet. Get yourself a new wallet, because you're identifying with this thing every day. This is my money. This is where I put my gear, if that's what you do. I never used to put it in there, but some people do. This is where I get my cards out to rack up a line. You know, these are things that you need to shift and change. If nothing changes, nothing changes. I would also, if you're planning on coming off this drug, change your home around. So if you used to use in your bedroom and you've got a side table, move that side table to the other side of the bed, move it somewhere else, move books around, move shelves around, anything that you walk in, you're like, oh, this is different. And that you get used to this difference, that it's different to not use, that it's okay to not use. Obviously, none of these things are going to cure you from not using, but I want to make life a little easier. So what I was going to mention about the pain, I'd like you to think of 5 things that cocaine made you do that was so horrendously painful. Or actually, you can do 3, or you can do 1 if it's too much, because the heaviness of it gets quite a lot. I'd like you to think of as many or as little things as you like, and write them down of how it made you feel, what it made you do. And you can burn that paper afterwards if you don't want anyone seeing it. That's okay. You know, this is your secret to keep. You don't need to share everything with everyone. And once you've done that, I'd like you to sit and to have compassion with yourself. And I have another video which is called Addiction Coping Techniques and How to Support You. I think that's what it's called. It's also on this channel. Please feel free to watch this after watching this video, because there is a little moment where I guide you through having compassion with yourself, and also to speaking to the little you, the inner you. So that's what I would love you to do after you've done that. Once you sit for a moment and you close your eyes and you have compassion for yourself and you say, I'm so sorry that I did that to myself. You could even stroke your hand. It's very soothing to stroke yourself, because sometimes we don't have anyone else doing that for us, and people don't always know what we need. What we need right now, when you've been in a place of darkness and you're disconnected, because you're gonna want to be alone. If you're at a point where you're using heavy, you're gonna be alone, or you're using with a partner, but it's dark and you feel alone, like no one understands you. I understand. I empathize with you so much, and I have true compassion for you, because you did not choose to become addicted to this substance. You did not choose to arrive where you are right now. That doesn't mean that this can't be the seed of growth for you, that you can't use this pain, this trauma, this horrendous feeling of guilt, of shame, and so on, and use it for your future. Use it for the positive, to be able to help others, to be able to help yourself, but to be able to have the life that you've always sought. So, after you've finished speaking to yourself in a kind and loving way and telling yourself, I have compassion for you, I believe in you, I'm so sorry that you had to go through all of that and that it made you do something so painful. I feel you, I'm here for you. I'd like you to speak to yourself like that. What is the point in saying, you moron, you're a prick, you're a douchebag, you're a whatever you want to say? I know every single word, a swear word under the sun, but I don't want to say that. No one dares to speak to you like that. If some person came up to you and spoke to you like that, you'd be like, excuse me, you speak to yourself like that. We're not having it anymore. That's enough abuse on yourself. So, I'd like you to talk kindly to yourself, and if you can, 1 or 2 minutes or 10 minutes or as long as you can, to have pure compassion, as if this is a person dying, hurting themselves, and you want to help them, and you want to be loving and kind and empathic and patient with them. You have to be patient with yourself, because sometimes others aren't, and you only have this life right now, so it's worth living. And there is help everywhere. You just need to find the right people to ask for help. I'm always here if you need it. So another thing that I'd like you to do, once you've gotten through this heaviness, this heavy task, I'd like you to write as many things as you possibly can that would make your life wonderful. If you didn't use, what would your life look like? What would you do? How would you wake up in the morning? Where would you go? If you have children, what would you say to them? What would you do? If you don't want to write this, you can think about it. Say it out loud, but you have to say it. Don't just think it, speak it. We want this out there in the world. We want this energy out there, that it surrounds you. This is all I would like to share. I just wanted to give a boost to anyone that needed it today, a spark of light, because I know what it's like to be in that depth of darkness. I know what it's like to be burdened with guilt and shame and secrecy. But I also know how it is to get out of it and to be grateful to be alive every second. And you have the right, you deserve to be free. And if you really want to, I'm here for you. You can send me a message or go to my website, leliahypnosis.com, and book a free call and just have a chat and see how can I get out of this addiction to cocaine. I work with all sorts of addictions, so it's not just limited to cocaine, but that is what I know most about, feel strongest about, but I'm here to support you. Don't give up. Because giving up is for losers. You are a winner and you will always be a winner. And even if every day you feel like you failed, that's okay. Tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow is another day. It's all right. And one thing that I learned from NA and AA, which I don't go to anymore, but they were very helpful in the beginning of my journey, was just for today. Just for today, don't use. Just for this next hour, don't use. You can do this for as long as possible. For the next 15 minutes, don't use. Just for the next 15 minutes, I'm not going to use cocaine. It's as easy as that, just to prolong it for as long as possible. And if you do, that's okay. Have compassion. If there's anything that you need, please feel free to reach out. I'm so glad that you're here supporting me on my channel. And I'd love to give you all the strength and the wisdom and the knowledge and the serenity and the internal peace for you to become your most truest and loved self. But I know that we each have to do that and say those things to ourselves. We have to go on this journey by ourselves. But we can ask for help. So please ask for help. Tell those who are truly closest to you, who you can really trust, about what you're going through, because keeping it a secret, keeping it in is not going to help you. You can't save yourself. And don't kid yourself. You can't, tomorrow is not going to be a magical day and you're going to wake up and be like, I'm magically healed and I'm going to stop. No, it doesn't work like that. You need to do the therapy. You need to go within yourself and find out why do I keep going back? How do I fill myself up with love and light, that I don't go back to the shitty substance that destroyed my life? That is what you need to do. It's not going to work by just going completely off it. You need to nourish yourself. Anyway, all my love. Have a wonderful day. Bye.